Hello everyone, this is Planet Hoax with your host Neil Mitchell. Here on the Mother Nature Network, October 30th, 2015, they're reporting on what we've seen in social media and on YouTube videos and whatnot for the past weekend. Massive crack in the earth opens up suddenly in Wyoming's Bighorn Mountains. The immense crack, which appears to split a hilltop in half, was discovered by startled backcountry hunters. Now, before I get into the article, I like to say one thing about this. A lot of those evolutionists out there, they would holler and scream and cry, and, oh, it took millions of years to create this event. So let's take a look at what Mother Nature can do within minutes, or seconds, in fact, where some evolutionists and those that believe in billions of years would definitely see a trend. Alrighty, here's the Facebook provided by a Facebook person, Randy Becker. The crack appears like a miniature Grand Canyon up close, and that's exactly how these evolutionists would say it and depict it and try to make you believe that that's exactly what it is, a canyon that's been hewn over millions of years. You see here we got these lines, of course, the lines of evidence that they like to claim, where they do circular reasoning to date the fossil, and then they turn right around, and when they don't know what layer it is, they find a fossil in there, and they say, oh look, there's this fossil, so we're going to date the rock this. So they date the fossils for by the rock, and they date the rock by the fossil. So it's like, well, how do they know? Well, anyway, let's move through the article. Dynamic crack has suddenly formed in the foothills of Wyoming's Bighorn Mountains that measures an impressive 750 yards long and 50 yards wide. It was discovered recently by surprised backcountry hunters who travel frequently to the area in search of game. The first report by the SNS Outfitter and Guides, a hunting company, on their Facebook page, a mammoth chasm appeared over the course of just a couple of weeks. If they hadn't discovered this from point A to point B in time by these hunters, they came across it, they would say, oh look, this has been here for millions of years. Look how it's washed out. It is an impressive example of just how quickly very large geological events, let's do this again. An impressive example of just how quickly very large geological events can occur under the right conditions. This would suggest the same of the Grand Canyon, of course, with the flooded plateau above the Grand Canyon that broke loose and flooded down through there and carved out the Grand Canyon, and we've been trying to explain to people over the years. Everyone here is calling it the Gash. It's really incredible sight. It's a really incredible sight, wrote the SNS on the group's Facebook page. And also an example of how our Earth is not as stable as you might think. Yeah, it doesn't take millions of years for things to happen, folks. Just to get you straight on that, it doesn't take millions of years. Awesome forces at work here to move such dirt, adds Randy Becker, one of the hunters who stumbled upon, quote-unquote, the Gash. Becker shared a number of stunning photographs of the crack on his own Facebook page. A shot taken from a distance and posted on SNS gives some perspective of just how wide and how deep the crack is. Remember now, it's only 750 yards long, wasn't it? Yeah, 100 and about 50 yards wide. Now, you look at that and you think, oh wow, if you notice through here, what's this remind you of? What does that remind you of, folks? Anyway, contrary to some sensational claims swirling about on social media, the crack is not an opening to the underworld or a sign that Yellowstone is about to erupt. That's questionable. I'm not going to get into that just yet. Just hold on. The process that created the crack is not even all that mysterious. SNS is reporting that an engineer gave a more rational explanation. Of course, these guys with degrees, they always give more rational explanations instead of just up front in your face exactly what it is. Let me back up on that. You could have 100 witnesses to an event, and because they don't have a degree, they would blow them off, and someone who is rational with a degree would have a better explanation, and that's what they would go on. Anyway, quote, apparently, a wet spring lubricated across a cap rock. Then a small spring on either side caused the bottom to slide out. He estimated 15 to 20 million yards of movement. Though the speed of which the large crack form might seem earth-shattering, these kinds of landslides are not that uncommon in areas on a small scale. Now, doesn't a landslide happen? Well, let's say like in California, it's up on a hill and it slides down. So where's this momentum pushing up from and going to is kind of what I'm wondering. This one just happened to be especially voluminous. Okay, so that's the end of that article. So let's get back to this article right here, this picture. All right. Now, when you look right here at these little devices right here, okay, when you look at this landscape right through here, middle of this, let's say. Now this is all on where's it all really sliding down to? If you notice right along here, there's another crack. I don't know if people have noticed this or not. Now this breaking loose, and it technically, if this is a hill, would it not slide this way? So all of this is sliding into itself. All this over here is breaking down and sliding into itself, wouldn't it? Would this not slide back down the hill here? Here's another crack. There's more cracks. Here's another crack right here developing. Here you can see it actually come through here. It's probably goes all the way down and connects with this one. All right, I'm looking at it like this, okay? If the Caldera, let's say in Yellowstone, was moving, it's this direction, if I remember right, looking at the map. All of this, if the ground is swelling up, like they say for the mantle of the dome of the caldera pushing up, like they suggest, that would raise this up at an angle of about 45 degrees, maybe less, that direction, would it not? And anything here on the opposite side of it, where this crack would develop, would be more stationary and it would sit still, right? So as this is pushing up this direction, you would have this crack develop. Now, if you see how wide this crack is, okay, remember now, they're talking about Yellowstone, this cap rising up. And here we have how many articles about it? Talking about the dome rising in Yellowstone. Really pronounced. I'm not even going to go to these articles. I'm just going to show them to y'all. Here's the caldera here. Here's a larger map of the area, the caldera here, and you see these areas. It's pretty obvious what's going on at Yellowstone. All right. Now, as I was saying, when this is rising, anything around it on this area right here, it's going to pull away from it. In lower areas, it may push against. In other areas up, it may rise. When it does, it's going to cause these cracks to develop. All through here, all this area is going to show cracks as it rises. All through here. From this point here, if this is what this is, it'll rise and cracks will develop circular, right? I mean, it should. Right through here, it may follow fault lines, but it will rise itself in these cracks. How do you think these cracks in these valleys and these tributaries that run through Yellowstone have developed? It hadn't been millions of years. It's been all at once. Remember what happened with St. Helens? St. Helens, when that volcano went off, look what it did. It covered up stuff. It buried trees, just like the trees that you sit in situations like this. The logs broke loose. They floated around and they got buried in the strata in different layers. And this is proven. Now, they didn't take a million years to do that. All right, and this is my point that I was getting with it. you know, they're shooting you a line of hooey when they tell you that everything's been millions of years, folks. Okay, so, events happen spontaneously, quickly. So let's hope in these areas that this settles itself pretty quick and it doesn't get out of hand and crazy when this thing finally decides to go off. It takes up a large area. And here's the changes that have happened in Yellowstone. Right here is this area we just looked at on the map. This one here had been that one circular area, and this area here would have been that other circular area if I read the map correctly. And here you got these sudden changes. Anyway, for a moment here, getting back to this crack, as you can see, what do these look like that you witnessed in some areas of the United States? Looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? These are the type of things that will develop instantaneously. It's not wind erosion. It's not anything like that. Okay. Alrighty, here to give you an idea exactly where, corresponding to Yellowstone, this crack is at. Here's the Bighorn Mountains right through here, folks. Okay. And what we have right over here, Yellowstone. Okay. Here's your Caldera. All right. Now, they're not going to tell you the truth what's going on, and they're not wanting to. Okay. They'll do anything they can to keep public panic down. But my suggestion would be, don't live in this area, anywhere close to it. I mean, if this volcano decides to erupt into a super volcano, we're talking about an extravagant amount of material, heat, ash, whatever else is going to blow out of that thing for hundreds of miles of radius. 500, 600, 700 miles. Alrighty, here we have the ash zones, kill zones, ash zones all the way through, and of course this is for illustration purposes only. This probably would pretty much be correct with the kill zone. I would suspect everything would open up and be thrown out, and anything around that same radius, secondary, will be happening. It may go through the whole state of Idaho up into Oregon. Okay, but of course, don't be fearful of it, right? Don't prepare. This is all maybe a conspiracy theory. I like the idea of being prepared, don't you? Better to be prepared than not be prepared at all. Anyway, we have these areas here, you see, that are going to be affected by it. These are the range change, okay, over a period of time. I'm not sure exactly how long, but that gives you an idea of the severity of movement and where it is moving relative, if you look at the graph. So when you're seeing stuff like this start to develop, don't take it for a grain of salt. Really look at it in detail and try to understand that we are floating on top of some really, really hot, nasty stuff. It's moving around all the time. It's going to one day pop its cork anyway. We should already understand this, being as intelligent as we are. Don't let the evolutionists again and the scientists scare you off from understanding that things happen quickly, happen violently, and the destruction as to our existence can be extreme, localized or globally, of course, but it is not something that should be used by political people and those in power to try to screw you out of your money with carbon tax, with global warming, all that kind of crap, okay? Just don't let that happen. Work yourself away from it. Fight and resist the lies, folks. Resist the lies. And understand that there's bigger things in the world than what scientists tell us. And it's all God's plan. It's all God's plan.
Thanks for watching PlanetHoax.com. Subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube and Facebook. And remember, there is a war going on to enslave you.